Look at the central leaf. Begin with what the eye actually encounters. There is a striking polarity, a broad, pale, whitish outer field. There is a concentrated inner green field. The green is not simply placed inside the white, it seems to press outward into the white. Observe that. The green itself is not geometrically very uniform. It has this irregular living boundaries. The leaf seems to narrow towards a point. Now you see the stem, look at the stem. It is elongated, reddish, directional. The stem and the leaf have very different gestures. The stem moves, the leaf seems to receive and spread. There is that remarkable relationship between softness and firmness. The leaf is fleshy, rounded, receptive. The stem is more linear and assertive. Now, what is the plant doing through its forms? What is this polarity? A gesture of contraction and expansion. Just observe it. Why it seems to kind of withdraw or even come out. They are not two independent substances. Both participate in one leaf, the whitish and the green, kind of are there together from center to periphery back to the center. Life does not merely occupy form, it is continually producing form. So look at that relationship between leaf and stem. The stem is kind of a line, straight. Leaf is a surface. Right? Stem moves outward, longer. Life seems to receive and spread broader, expansion. Now just observe that. Stem to node to leaf, where there is expansion, there is differentiation, there is narrowness, broadness, where it is becoming. You can compare that with a machine. Two machines may work very similarly. You can see the same kind of wear and tear happening, but with the leaf it is different. Something is transforming. Right? Now look at these continually balancing but maybe opposing formative tendencies. Observe that. When the leaf kind of moves away from the stem, there is no simple stop, no direct beginning. There is a transition. There is that red pink stem enters the green white leaf through that small zone of transformation. What happens between one form and another? The node becomes more interesting than either the stem or the leaf by itself. Is this node a threshold? And where is this in my life? That reddish stem gives a more definite directional quality. What quality of movement becomes visible when the plant passes from green leaf space into reddish axis? Some questions to ponder upon, apply to my own life, and see where such a differentiation is happening. Where there is movement, the finished form is not really the true object that I'm concerned about. There is movement from one form to another form, and a continuous one. So it's a process that I need to observe, and a leaf is just a moment in time. What formative law can I experience through this succession and relationship of its forms, the different forms of the leaf, different forms of the plant, together coming as one changing transformation process, transformative process, right? So, where does this plant contract, or where does it expand? Where does it become directional? Where does it become receptive? Similarly, where am I contracting in my life? Where am I expanding in my life? Where does it become directional? Where I'm focused totally in one objective, in one goal? Where I'm opening myself to receive, right? So look at that. What is that principle expressing itself within me that this plant is trying to bring forth in me? Can I see that whole in one part? And the part as a moment in the becoming of the whole. Can I see that part of me today in 1 hour window of today? And what is it that I'm doing in that 1 hour that is going to make my day, make my week, make my life? So observe that slowly, consciously, and see where and how I can transform as a human being.